the freedom-fighting parents of Clarksville. Yes, we got Clarksville, Tennessee moms discussing masks in schools, also inability to go virtual, low test scores, and a lot more. So let's see what they have to say now on the Joe Padula Show. Absolutely, what is going on, ladies? Good to see you all. All right, in the studio, we'll just go into a quick introductions. Becky, please, who are you?
I'm a mom of 4.
Mom of 4, nice. Casey Bryant, local
Hi.
Clarksville. What about you?
I'm a mom of 2.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
yeah.
Who are you? Is that our
Becky, what are their ages?
Oh gosh, now you got 6, 10, 12, 17.
All right.
I did it.
She passed. That is accurate. That is correct. And Casey, the ages of your children.
11 and 9.
Okay, nice job, Lori. What do you do? And what do you do? What do you do? And your kids?
I was ready for the same question, but you threw a little spin in there.
That's right.
I am a grant writer. I work full time, and I am a mom of 3, all under the age of 7 and under.
Nice. And if you need a grant writer, there you go. That's what I was trying to help you out. Okay. Grant writers. That's a huge necessity.
Yeah, it is. It is. I either run into people that know what it is or have never heard of it. So
Nonprofits know who you are. That's for damn sure.
yes, they do.
All right. And Callie, what do you got? How many kids do you got?
4 too.
4.
Mine are spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15, 7, 4, and 2. 1 and 4 were not planned.
Oh.
Hey, me too.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, today, this is a part of our series where we're talking with the parents and the moms who have been going to school board meetings in the local area for Clarksville, Montgomery County school systems, discussing some of the things that is going to affect their children and themselves directly for school year 2021-22. So, school starts, what, August 10th? Monday.
The 9th.
Monday the 9th.
Yeah.
Days away from this broadcasting, by the way. But what's the rules? What's going to be happening? Casey, you've been paying attention. Masks.
Yes.
What's happening in Montgomery County?
Bill Purcell is writing Mask Up or Stay Home. He seems very passionate about this topic
What's up,
and about vaccinations. And I think but can I just lead in and say this isn't our group, and what we stand for is not necessarily for masks or against masks or for vaccines or against vaccines. It's more about educating or informing parents and also giving them, we're fighting for a say in our kids' education. And because right now in Montgomery County, we don't have that.
Right.
And so, Bill, I appreciate that you're very passionate about that. That's not really what this is all about. It's just giving the parents information so that they can make the proper decisions that they feel like for their family and for themselves.
So what is going on this year for the schools?
So as of right now, there are no mandates, but there are a couple of little red flags. In like Nashville Metro just last minute decided to throw in a mask mandate. And so there are no mandates, but there's some funky things written into the dress code that we need to be aware of. And also just keep in mind that there's a possibility that it can change last minute.
What are those funky little things that are in the dress code?
It said they added a line, and Callie can probably, you guys know more than me what that line says, but they added a line in the dress code this year versus last year that basically says, do you have it?
That they will follow the recommendations from state and federal health agencies.
Yes.
And
Health codes are not dress codes.
Right.
Exactly. And it's disciplinary. It's disciplinary if it's not followed.
That is interesting too, because if someone's asking you to, I never understood no shoes, no shirt, no service. It's the same thing with the mask. Well, a mask is a medical recommendation. A shirt is not a medical recommendation, you know. But Casey, what else in that dress code?
So real quick, Danny Sue says, then educate your kids at home. So I do actually, but my tax dollars go towards this, and my kids play with kids in the neighborhood that are affected by a lot of the things that are going on in the school. And so, Danny, I do actually educate my kids at home.
At these school board meetings, have the discussion been taking place on I don't know, maybe some of the psychology ramifications of kids being masked up for 7 hours inside of a building?
Okay.
Yeah, what do you got?
I've been going to school board meetings for 4 months.
Right.
And there is never any discussion on COVID policies at the school board?
Why is that?
That is a great question. That is a great question, Joe, because our elected leaders should be making this decision. But instead, Clarksville Montgomery County has a communicable disease team that makes all these decisions behind closed doors outside of the public eye.
Are they
Which-
elected
wait.
officials?
No,
No,
and we just
none
found
of
out.
them.
I just found out this week that there's 25. 24 of them are on staff at CMCSS. I always say that wrong. And then one of them is not, but he works for the health department and his wife is a teacher. So there's no like parents that aren't paid for by the school district. There's no one outside. It's all internal.
Okay.
So it's not a panel of voted on elected officials. It's not a panel of people that we can even talk to.
It's not even a panel of health experts.
And unfortunately, this has all become such a political thing that I feel like it's up to us as parents to figure out what we feel like is best for our kids and our family, like I said earlier, because I don't think that we're even getting the actual true facts about the effect that it has. I haven't seen any studies come out about the damage that it can do, having the masks and the lockdowns and all of this other stuff that's going on. You just see one side.
CDC would do a little investigation on that too, since they're providing guidelines, you know. All right, so real quick recap. We were just talking about Clarksville, Montgomery County school systems and their dress code and also a mask policy. As of today, there is no mask mandate for any children, but parents have the options to have their kids go to school, wear a mask or not wear a mask.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, but remember, last year was the final hour, so we could get an email tonight at 7:00 saying Monday morning there's masks,
All right.
and I wouldn't put it past them.
And then Home Depot will have a huge sale on pitchforks and and those lanterns. Right, very good. Thank you, Casey, on that update. Okay, how about, this one, contact tracing. Okay,
That's me.
yeah, Becky, what's going on with this?
So they did announce at the school board meeting this week that, it was a study session, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, the study session, that CMCSS will not be doing contact tracing this week.
What is
Or not
contact
this
tracing?
year. Contact tracing is when, like, I have COVID, we were in the studio together, now you need to go quarantine because you came in contact with me.
Okay.
So, and then they keep tracing, like, and then
What
now
about
they're-
testing? Like, what if...
They aren't doing any of that. So they are leaving that up to the health department, where last year it was the school. This year it is the health department. So what I feel is important for parents to know is to know their rights. You do not have to participate in this from the health department. They will tell you do. They will scare you. They will say lots of things. You have rights in this country still, as of today, and you do not have to comply, and you do not have to participate.
Of course.
That's Becky's answer for everything. I love her so much. She's like, I just don't comply. Just don't sign. I think a lot of parents don't know that
that's
they
true.
don't
Yeah.
have
Well,
to.
here's
And
the
it's
thing.
not about being ugly about it or
Yeah.
aggressive about it or like I'm not complying. It's about knowing your rights, knowing what you do have to participate and what you don't have to participate, what information you do have to give, what information you have the right to withhold. And I think sometimes people think, and I get guilty of this too, where my emotions get the best of me, but if we can stay calm and we can have dialogue and proper conversations, like with the teachers, like with the admin staff at these schools, and explain to them, I'm not just trying to be a mom that's angry about everything and doesn't want to do this. I have real concerns for my children. Here's what they are, and this is why I'm not going to comply with this.
Well, thank God for a thing called, you ladies know what the 10th Amendment is, right? Where if 10th Amendment says that in the Constitution, if there is no law from the federal government, which there is no law on, which is passed by Congress, okay, actual law, there's mandates. There's a difference between a law and a mandate.
There is, and people don't realize
Huge
that.
difference.
Huge.
And if it's not passed by Congress as a law on the federal level, it goes down to the state level, okay? And if it's not passed by law, okay, at the state level, we're talking about now your state representatives, all right, and your state senators. That's why local elections are very important. If it is now not passed by law to, I don't know, get a vaccine or wear a mask by law, then it goes down to you, the people, and you get to make that decision. So yeah, I
That
totally.
was a very great explanation. I liked that, Joe.
Of course it was, right. And then I got to ruin it with the pat on my back. But that's exactly how it works, okay? And a lot of people don't even know what the 10th Amendment is, so hopefully you do. But okay, back to your this contact tracing. So it is not happening. If someone gets in contact with COVID,
It's happening, but so what's going to happen is the health department will take it over. So usually what happens if you get a COVID test and you test positive, or somebody else that you came in contact with,
Yeah.
the health department is going to call you, and they are going to say whatever they say. They say different things every time. They're going to ask you to participate, basically, but they're going to probably make it sound like you have to. What I simply say is, I know my rights, and I do not want to have any participation in this, and I do not want any more phone calls from you.
yeah,
Thank you.
You don't have to
And
sign
that's it.
anything. Only a licensed medical doctor can prescribe a medical treatment, such as a mask, okay, and such as COVID testing.
Or
Okay.
know your medical information.
Or
you don't
a
have to disclose
vaccine,
it.
right? Okay, your boss or school administrators or even a store owner, all right, cannot infringe upon that right. Just to let you know, you forgot about that,
And you're not
but that's okay.
responsible for other people's health.
Right.
You know, I think that that's important to recognize. You are not responsible for other people's health. You are responsible for yourself. If you are uncomfortable, don't do it. You know, and to circle back to the masks really quick.
Circle back.
Circle back.
Jen over here.
You know, there have been some studies that have then been pulled thereafter that we have seen about the levels, the dangerous carbon monoxide levels that people are reaching within just even a minute or two of wearing them. That was one. There was another one about the emotional development.
Yeah.
You know, their ability to speak correctly, and you know, children's ability to read people's emotions. It is making an impact on our children. Maybe people don't want to believe it, but it is harmful. It is harmful,
Side
both
note,
physically and developmentally.
I have seen kids vape through these masks, just to let you know. Okay, just to say. All right. Okay, with the inability to go virtual now.
Yes. So they also said that, which we find very interesting, that they went to the one-on-one computers where it was one computer to one kid this year. That was new, starting in kindergarten. But then they also said that they do not have the ability to go virtual this year for contact tracing. If you're out for 2 weeks because of contact tracing, or if you're out because you have COVID, there is no virtual option. Where last year you went on to virtual school, you were going in between.
How many sick days does a child get in school? Do we know that number?
I believe it's 10. I
With
think it's
notes.
10 with notes.
So if a child comes down with COVID, which, by the way, sorry to hear that. Don't worry, you got a 99.99997 survival rate. You're going to be all right. Hang in there. 10-day to quarantine.
I think there's exceptions.
CDC recommended.
I think they aren't doing the attendance thing with the COVID.
Okay.
So that's out the window, because they did say you can self-quarantine and all that stuff. So
Do you have to prove a COVID test that you have it to take the? Because
I'm sure you need a note.
I know kids that, if we were growing up in this age, would totally take advantage of that. Be like, yeah, I got the COVID. Right.
especially when you test for months after. I tested months after when I went to go get my surgery.
Yeah.
So for 6 months after, I was testing positive. So you could just keep
Right.
going and never go to school.
That's
And
because of
then
those
just-
bump PCR tests.
Well, that's the other thing, is that we're using the tests that we now know are not effective.
So how are the kids going to be learning for 10 days while they quarantine?
They said they are working on a workaround.
A workaround. Circle back to that.
Circle back to that.
What is a workaround?
Well, last year, my son got quarantined not once, but twice for 10 days at a time. And his teacher actually had a camera in front of her, and he would watch her teach the class. And I guess that's what they're not doing this year. Is that correct? We didn't get a lot of information on it
That
at the study
And
session.
we
That
aren't allowed to
sucks.
ask questions.
And
so
they-
that
Yeah.
Yeah.
They obviously had already had a big conversation about it, because it was just a 2-second thing
was
blurb that they gave in the
Okay. Very good. Moving forward. All right. So we could see where low test scores. We'd segue into this one. Callie, fill us in on these low test scores. What's going on?
Okay. Less than 30% of Tennessee children are on reading level.
What does that mean?
That's less than 30%. So less than 1 out of 3 children.
Are we talking about children in school?
children in school, in
Okay.
Tennessee schools? This was the standardized test that they used this year.
Okay.
And then less than 25% are on grade level in math. So back to what Lori said about masks not being harmful. How do you expect a kindergartner to learn like this? Okay.
I just had flashbacks of Kandahar, Afghanistan, by the way. I really did.
Which reminds me of another study that they did about the bacteria, the
and-
dangerous
Well,
levels of
I'm just-
bacteria that they
just
found
for-
in the mask.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
just from a learning
Understood.
standpoint,
Common sense.
these kindergartners are learning to read. They need to watch us pronunciate.
You don't think virtual had anything to do, or maybe virtual played a role?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because there are whole Tennessee. What did Metro even go to school last year? And if they did, how long?
Here's the only way I can relate to virtual learning. When this all started, we still continued our Bible study on Wednesdays. It used to be it still is now at the cigar shop, right? But then we were doing it through the phones. I wasn't paying attention.
And-
no way. I was pretending I was paying attention.
Yeah, I remember 2019 when they said, our kids staring at a computer screen all day was
Right.
detrimental
Oh.
and to their health. And now,
Yeah,
what
now-
what do we have them doing?
And
And can I say we never consented to have our children learn off computers this whole last year?
yeah, that's a good point too.
That was never a conversation.
We never
Now,
consented
while
to.
I'm very, very grateful that we live in a district that can afford to provide children laptops for every single child, I mean, that's amazing. Okay, I come from a really poor rural area, and I think that's amazing that
I
the
can
school
tell by the way you
district
talk. Right.
can afford.
It's a joke.
That's it, Joe.
It's a joke. It's a
Hit the
joke.
mute button.
But go on.
But seriously, to live in a district that is that blessed to be able to do that is amazing. However, there was never a conversation about, hey, this is what we're going to do as a workaround to do this. That we're going to have children as young as kindergarten on a computer.
I
on
heard a lot of
laptop.
complaints about, especially in the county area, of internet and Wi-Fi.
Well,
Oh,
there's the
yes.
internet
Complications,
connectivity, and then the
right.
fact that my first grader, he didn't know how to type. He didn't know how to use a mouse. I mean, these are all the very basic things
That's a
that
good point.
full-time working mom had to figure out with 3 kids at home last year.
Right. Understood.
So-
What about the low test scores? How do we fix it? How do we? Because obviously, according to 30%
Yes.
is below the reading level.
No, only 30% are
only
on reading level.
So that's saying
So-
70%.
Yes.
According to the standardized test score.
Yes.
We need to use 70 because 30 makes it sound good.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
70%.
that's true.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's how the Tennessean had it. Okay, that's
Of
probably
course, it makes it sound better.
Yes, yeah. Of course,
Yeah.
they put it that way, right?
Yeah, only
Owned by Gannett.
What is that line
your
with
research.
statistics?
Yes,
learn from the best.
So,
So,
over
yeah, how do we fix this?
70% of children are not on reading level, and
Uh-huh.
over 75% are not on grade level in math.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get them back in school.
So you're saying the solution is in-person learning without distractions and potential germ folks. Okay, now
Yes,
what
but
about the concern for the teacher's health? Where are you ladies on this?
I think it comes down to the numbers, and when you look at what is actually happening, and not turn on the TV and listen to mainstream media, but when you actually discern for yourself on the numbers that are reported through CDC and everywhere else, that children are not transfers of this virus, of
They
this
were
illness.
referred to as a sink.
What's that?
I heard them referred to as a sink. So they come in contact with it and it stops. So it's like washing it down the sink. That was a great analogy to me.
And plus, when do you stop this? If you look at it any other way, what is the end game here? Are we just going to pandemic forever?
Well, yeah, I think that's part of the plan. We can get into that on Conspiracy Theory Thursday, with the permanent pandemic to control how voting
Perma-pandemic.
has happened. But that's for a different day.
Well,
hear
I
you.
think-
Perma-pandemic,
I think
however
too,
you know.
like they said at 2 school board meetings or study sessions or one of those things that we all attended ago, they said that only 50% of the teachers were vaccinated. So I also think that shows you if they are willing to come back to work vaccinated or not vaccinated, and every teacher I've talked to does not want a mask, I think let the teachers decide, just like we want to decide for us and for our children, let the teachers decide. There is plenty
Exactly.
of virtual options for the teachers to take if they want to teach virtually, just like the kids have those options. And I think it's not my job to make that decision for the teacher, just like it's not the teacher's job to make the decision for my child.
And these teachers are held, last year, I can't even tell you how many times that my student came home and told me that the teacher was having trouble breathing in the mask.
Yeah.
And could not teach in the mask. So we are a group, we are not anti-mask or for mask or any of this, but we are a group that's for choice.
Yeah, of course.
We believe that everybody should have a choice.
And there is
and
a
that's
such
why
thing
we
as
live in a free country.
yeah, you're right. I mean, there is such thing as a medical apartheid. Okay, where you're separating these two type of students and everything, and you're gonna get a real interesting result when you force people to make their choice for them.
And I think, oh, go ahead, Casey.
Yeah, what's up, Casey?
You can't have a solution that's worse than the problem too, I think, and we're not allowed to talk about the challenges of the solutions. It's just they're giving us these solutions and they're saying pick either or, and this is what's going to happen, but we're not able to discuss the downsides of the solutions that they're proposing.
I've heard a former president say that. Soon to be another president. But,
I think too that one of the solutions to the curriculum or to the low test scores is the curriculum. At what point are we going to start looking at what have we changed over the years that maybe wasn't a good change? I know, like if people talk to their parents, I'm 38 years old. If I talk to my dad, I know. It's
no,
rough.
that was a joke.
It's
Joe.
okay. It's been a rough year,
Surrounded by
Joe.
women, all right? I have to say it.
But my dad was born in 1952. I talked to him lots about education in his system, and he even talks about when we were kids, when they got rid of phonics, when they got rid of flashcards, he was very frustrated. He had a lot of the same battles with the school board we're having now, where, hey, we didn't say we wanted to get rid of this stuff. Why are you changing the way our kids learned that was working for them? Me specifically, I was a dyslexic kid. So when they took away phonics, that hindered my ability to read. So I actually was at a disadvantage. It didn't help me. It made it worse. Math, I can't tell you math facts to save my life. Now, that generation, they can do math in their head like nobody's business. So at what point do we go back and say, hey, maybe all these changes we made aren't for the better, and if we go back to these core things instead of constantly trying to bring new things in and make it better, maybe it was good the way it was.
Well, hooked on phonics worked for me.
Amen.
All right. Speaking of curriculum, will CRT, critical race theory, be discussed this year in the Clarksville, Montgomery County school systems? Lori.
So the governor signed a bill effective July 1st.
Governor Bill Lee signed the bill?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That critical race theory was to be banned in the schools. But the tricky thing about critical race theory is it is a methodology. It is a theory. It is a way of instruction that embraces certain ideologies. Okay, so it not only is it hard to pin down, but a lot of times until children come home and they start exhibiting behaviors, parents don't even know that it's happening.
Well, can you define what critical race theory is? Because I hear a lot of people know about it or they hear about it, but they don't know what it is.
No, I can't adequately do that, Joe,
Nobody can.
I am learning about it. I think we are all learning, but my understanding is it is a Marxist and a socialist ideology, a framework.
It is born from that, absolutely.
Right.
And the studies show it to include removal of the core family, which I find interesting.
Yeah, anti-nuclear family. There's certain themes that are recurrent through it, and there are groups around the country, including school districts, that are fighting to get this out of their school. And there's, from what I understand, not yet a success story.
Could you imagine, telling one part of the classroom, you are naturally inferior, you are naturally superior, and we have to fix that? Could you imagine a 8-year-old trying to understand that?
But psychologically, that's exactly what they're doing.
While wearing a mask, can you imagine? Unbelievable.
Which I think, again, goes back to why are we even entertaining these curriculums that have nothing to do with reading or writing or math when that's the real problem?
Yeah, why is it all touchy-feely? It's all touchy-feely and no
we have a
actual
serious
credential.
math reading issue over here, but we're worried about trying to bring in a new curriculum about things that really it should be left up to the parents to teach and to structure at home.
Callie?
I mean, call me crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're raising emotional thinkers and not critical thinkers. And I
Ooh,
think
I like
that's
that.
kind of
Yeah,
by
that's good.
design because emotional thinking is very easily manipulated. Very easily. Where a critical thinker, it's much harder. And I think we really need to kind of watch what's coming home with our kids. I saw somebody who was like, parents take zero responsibility. Okay, well, let's take responsibility, parents.
We're trying to, and then we
Yeah.
get bashed for
for trying.
having too big of
Yeah.
mouths.
So-
Well, yeah, there's a lot of change that has been happening within the school systems, but not only just the school systems, but at home and with the school systems. I believe last time when we all came together, we talked about how we were on autopilot with our children in the school systems. You know, make them lunch, get them in the car, drop them off, boom. At the end of the day, how was your day? Good, good. I'm taking to practice, okay. Get you home, you did your homework, okay, good. Good night. We'll repeat the process, not knowing what the hell was going on for 8 hours.
Yeah.
With your children.
Yes.
Well, what's important, we're discovering some things that for this upcoming school year, including, some changes, and we're working on getting it out to the parents. We're digging into it and we're getting it out. But what's crazy about the stuff that we're noticing, we're not even sure if teachers and lower leadership at the schools are informed. So it is important to start getting a conversation going, a respectful conversation, and partnering with the people that are teaching your children and the administrators in your local school. I really, really encourage parents to take a careful look at the curriculum that they sent in the resource guide for opening this year.
Yes, definitely read it. All right, it's not like your Apple iPhone where you do an update and just scroll all the way and go, I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely look at what information, and especially, you don't have to sign anything you don't want to. I hope you understand that too. Based, again, on laws and mandates, there is a difference, and the 10th Amendment protects your individual rights when there are no laws on the books at the federal or state level. With
Joe?
that being said, freedomfightingcollective.com, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a
okay.
beautiful website.
And let's
Becky.
we'll go around the room for closing statements. What do you got? Let's go with Callie first.
Okay, I just want to tell you all, be involved. Teachers are going to be your best resource in learning what your children are learning. Be nice to them, be respectful, and ask. Ask what curriculum. Ask about this ESSER funding. Ask about social emotional learning.
Thank you, Callie. I was like, boy, we
Be nice.
one more thing to say in there.
Be nice as the kettle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look through your curriculum and see if you see social emotional learning. Where did that come from? What's it related to? Is this CRT under a different name?
And don't just look at the headline of the video or the headline of the
Right.
the line item. Actually see the curriculum of what they actually are teaching.
Yeah, because on the surface it looks like sunshine and rainbows, and that's the problem. These people know what they're doing. They make it sound really good. Why wouldn't you want social emotional learning for your child?
Shelley Holiday commenting says, awesome conversation. She has a hearing issue, actually.
Hi, Shelley.
Bill Purcell, okay? Bill says, moms will do almost anything to get their kids back in school full-time with no mask for the
I
kids to
know.
complain about. They don't want their kids at home.
Us poor working moms. I know. That's just
Bill,
something else.
I agree.
Isn't it?
We never should have given them the right to vote. They'd still be home working. I agree, Bill, 100%.
I think, though, the argument, I know we're supposed to wrap it up, but
Yeah.
let me just say this.
This is your wrap-up
You
then.
know, yeah, this is my wrap
Becky.
up. The argument that, we should just keep the kids home, which all of us have talked about. Some of us are, some of us aren't. Some of us are picking kids, whatever, throwing some of them to the wolves. But all of us are willing to do that. However, there are a lot of people that are literally not capable of doing that. And I agree with you. We should have that option. But then you know what? Let's have a conversation with the state and say, we want the money for our kids. We decide where that money goes. If we want to stay home, we get the money. If we want to take them to a different school, we get to take the money there. That's how you citizens get to fix that problem. And you don't get to say that to us anymore. If we had that solution, you wouldn't get to throw that in our face and say, we'll keep them home. Well, that's not possible for a single mom with 2 kids. It's just not possible.
Or somebody that works full time. I mean, I can tell you that if I had to do another 10 months working more than
is this
40
your
hours a
closing up?
week, yeah.
Okay, good. Go for it.
What are you sick of hearing from me, Joe?
No, we're coming close.
No, working over 40 hours a week with 3 children home and trying to do them justice while I do work justice
Yeah.
is impossible. It's not good for anybody. And in the meantime, virtual schooling my kid. No thanks.
And your closing
it's not
statement?
an option. It's not an option.
Not enough.
We need better.
I like
Let
it.
the
need
money
change,
follow
and
the
we need
child.
better.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be true accountability.
Casey?
Yes.
Yeah. I guess my closing statement would be, again, to get involved.
So there we go. You fell for it. I can't
time
believe
you do that
fell
to me.
for it.
Look at Lillian is saying what you say, Casey.
What?
She doesn't have kids in the her kids are adults, but she's still going to go to school
Yeah.
board meetings. So
I don't
that's
have
what
kids
Casey
in the-
does.
Her
in the thing.
kids
Am
are-
I going to get a closing statement or what?
Lillian's kids are a bunch of idiots, by the way.
I know they
You're
are, but I was
so
trying to be
mean.
nice.
It's
Oh, it's you.
It's my mom.
Yeah. I would agree with that statement.
All right, go for it.
Okay. Even if you don't have kids in the school district, if another thing, we really need guys. I know somebody earlier said, where are the dudes? We do have a couple of guys in our group here, but we need more guys. Guys need to get involved. You guys step up. This is not the time to drop your kids off and fall asleep. This is the time that we need to raise up, that we can no longer do that. We have to be informed about what we're signing. We have to be informed about what they're teaching, and we need to work with the teachers. I mean, sadly, one thing that we've noticed digging into this too is that there's a lot of teachers that 100% agree with us on a lot of the things that we feel, but they can't say anything,
They're very
which is
scared.
such a red
terrified for their
flag
job.
I was talking
that
to
there's
my
totalitarianism going on here.
I was talking to my ex-girl in New York, okay? And she's a teacher. And she was saying, Joe, I agree with you 100%. I watched the video on she called you the hens, okay? But you're right. She cannot speak up.
No,
But
They
she-
will be
but she-
blackballed.
teachers and
She
staff
can.
are terrified.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But Casey's right. Guys, step up. Go hang out. There are plenty of these single moms that need our help. No,
Hey,
but
my
you know what I'm
husband went to
saying.
the school board meeting this week because I bribed him with Strawberry Alley after.
Thank God you said Strawberry Alley. And believe me, for those who don't know what that is, don't look it up. That's a street with the ales and burgers, right?
Beer cheese. Well, that doesn't sound better either.
Don't go to Urban Dictionary and look up Strawberry Alley. I don't want to know what that says.
I'm gonna give a shout out too to our team, y'all. There's only 4 of us here, but there is a quick growing group that we have going on, and y'all are some of the most intelligent. I'm just so impressed with our group in general and how willing you guys are to just stand up and say what you believe in.
What's the website again?
freedomfightingparents.com.
Collective.
Collective.
Well, we have both.
Yeah, sorry, freedomfightingcollective.com.
The link is
Thank
right
you.
in this video and audio feed. All right, ladies, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Sorry, I really got to go to the bathroom. Okay, I really got to go. Let us know what you think. Keep the comments coming. Don't forget to hit the like and the share button. We need that help because we're a shadow band, of course, because we like to speak some truth, and big tech does not like that. So, thanks for joining the conversation and also the fight. Yeah, absolutely.